Train wreck in 1960 was caused by a broken rail. We had a local freight train parked in a siding, and of course the West Yard tracks were full. We had a gang here. It was a bridge and building gang. It was checking all the bridges, and they were parked on 2-track in the West Yard, and 1 track was full of just commercial cars, box cars, and we had a red ball freight coming out of the west, so we parked the local freight that was switching at every little town in a siding, and the red ball freight train was going to pass them here and get out of the road. About 300 feet short of the old viaduct, the rail broke and threw the train into the other train, and the cars started piling up. And
so the train that was moving was thrown into the train on the siding.
Yeah.
And by old viaduct, you mean by the overpass there? Or
yeah.
Is that, okay.
The old viaduct, the overpass.
The old one.
The old one. If it had been 300 feet farther east, it would have tore that out too, because the cars spread. There's a heck of kinetic energy whenever something tries to stop it that weighs 100 tons. And true, the train was only doing 30 miles an hour, but the cars spread out, and the extra gang cars was over on 2 tracks away from them. And it was kind of funny afterwards. It was scary right at first, but it turned the foreman's bunk car over just as he was getting out of bed. And he said that was a hell of an alarm clock. But he didn't get any hurt. He got a bruise or two, but that was all.
So now what caused the broken track?
It's hard to say. It was July, I would say. Probably it was a sun kink that got too big and popped. Or it could have been, I don't remember exactly what. It could have been at a rail joint too, because that's just little pieces slapped on there and bolted on between the ends to hold them in line.
So nobody was blamed for...
No, there was no blame for it. It just one of the things that happened.
And what time of day did it happen?
It happened about 6:30 in the morning, because the foreman was just getting up to go to work when I throwed him out of bed. But the only track we had through Kinsley then, with the 2 trains damaged and everything, was the old stock track. And they had to first come in with the steam derricks. Them 2 derricks in there, one's out of Dodge and one's out of Newton. They had to first come in and re-rail them bunk cars and get them out of the road so we could get into the stock track.
Now by re-rail you mean set them upright and get them back on the...
Set them up and pick them up and set them back on the rail.
So they're still functioning, they just tipped over.
Right. And so then we had the stock track, and that passenger train goes by. That's the old El Capitan, the pride of the railroad. And that's probably the slowest it ever run, at about 3 miles an hour, because that stock track was only 90-pound rail. And it was used to running on a minimum of 110-pound rail. Yeah, that's probably the slowest it ever went through Kinsley, but then people got quite a sight because it was right in the middle of that train wreck. But then At that time, we were hiring a company out of Scott City, Kansas that specialized in train wrecks. And the equipment picking them cars up and everything, other than them two steam derricks that shows on the film, is out of Scott City, owned by that company. And they were good.
Well, it looked like it got cleaned up pretty fast.
Yeah,
didn't it?
well, it took about 4 days, I think. And the last thing that happened, they was welding a piece on one car they were going to pull on a track and set the wheat afire in, so the city fire department had a chance to make a fire run and go out and put the fire out. But then the last of the film, that train that comes down there at the last of the film, that's the first train through the wreck area after they cleaned up, and it was the old mail train, number 7. It was all mail headed for the West Coast. Mid-journey went through here about 60 miles an hour, and it was only running about 20. But it's just things that happened. It could have been a lot worse.